Well, g'day legends and welcome back to the Laptop Lifestyle Dad Show. Hey, this is where we help everyday legends master AI, social selling, and attraction marketing so they can begin to build time freedom and financial freedom into their lives. More importantly, it's all about focusing on making memories with our families, not just making money. G'day, my name's Jeff Ross. I'm your host, proud dad of three amazing boys, speaker, coach, the Caffeinated Kangaroo, ready to bounce into another Boom Sauce episode. And today's guest is one of my very own students. Been working very closely together now, one-on-one, for over the last 12 months. So we've got Zak Brown, all the way from Thailand. He's an expat. He's been one of my students for the ChatGPT Unleashed program. Absolute legend. He's gone from successful and gone from stuck and scattered to showing up with purpose, to starting to figure it out one step at a time, right? He's doing the work. He's doing the messy transformation. So Zak is a husband. He's a father. He's a purpose-driven entrepreneur who joined our program feeling overwhelmed by the tech, unclear on his message, and unsure how to even start to build momentum. Fast forward to today, and now, well, he's found his voice. He's dialing in his brand, and he's on his way to Awesome Town. So let's unpack that journey together. So Zak, let's take it back to where you met before we became together. I want to probably start actually with you sharing your story. You know, before you met Jeff Ross, you know, what was life like, and you know, what was the struggle? You know, let's start there and unpack what the journey's been like. And you sort of set up we talk a lot about the before and after state, right? So let's talk about the before. What's your story, Zak, and what was that like?
Well, there's a lot of mess. There's a lot of mess in there. Before, when I originally lived in California, I was working 5 jobs, and I was just going crazy, right? And then I got the opportunity to move to Thailand. When I came to Thailand, it's been such an amazing adventure that my wife decided that we're going to have a baby. So we got pregnant, had a baby, and I started thinking, oh my God, how are we going to support a child in Thailand with our current finances? So I started jumping into more digital marketing and finding other ways to up my income. I did make a lot of mistakes along the way. I fell into some crypto scams. I fell into some really shady deals that was not great for us. But in that journey, I actually did find Jeff in that. Before Jeff, I was trying to do anything and everything I could. So I was really happy that I actually found this. I jumped on his free masterclass and just connected immediately. I did the 5 days of ChatGPT Unleashed and then signed up for his one-on-one service. And it's been absolutely life-changer for me.
Appreciate you, man. And look, this is not a fluff just ego session either. This is short, sharing the raw, the real, the vulnerable, the reality of it all, right?
Yeah.
And, I'm going to be doing a series here of interviewing a few of our students to really bring in the realistic viewpoint of, hey, look, everybody's going through a similar struggle. It's your story is a little bit similar to someone else's out there, right? And our stories is not for us to keep. It's for us to share, to bring in some hope, some peace, some clarity, to be able to help people on that transformation journey. So let's talk a little bit about the shift. What's been one of the biggest light bulb moments or the turning point, with working with me? What tools, strategies, or lessons have helped you to move forward? Like, I know that you haven't got to the top of Awesome Town yet, right? It's a journey. It takes time. It takes persistence. It takes tenacity. But you're moving forward one step at a time, right? So, yeah, let's talk about the shift. What's been one big light bulb moment for you that's helping you on that shift?
I think the biggest thing I've learned in this journey is that it really is a process. Everyone wants to have instant success overnight or within a few weeks, but it doesn't work like that. There's a lot of systems that I've had to learn about, a lot of things that I didn't know before. And I just thought, okay, I have so many friends on Facebook that, of course, they'd want to jump on with me or something. Why would they not? It doesn't make sense because this is the golden opportunity right now. Why aren't they listening to me? And so after dialing it back and taking a look at my message and how I was actually approaching the whole situation with them, then that's when things started to change. So it's a day-by-day thing, not a one message solves everyone's problems thing.
Yeah. And so let's talk about, when you first came to me, you're caught in the system because this is what everybody does, right? It's the don't know any better, so we'll follow the leaders and imitate, where we promote, we pitch, we try and sell everybody, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we're taught, as network marketers from day one. Go and reach out to your 100 list. Go and reach out to your warm influence, and then what? Then what? And then it's like, and then you've got the reaction of like, oh, here comes Jeff again. Oh, here comes Zach again. What's he trying to sell me this time? So let's talk about the reality of that and how has been working with me and the learning AI supported you to get past that stage to become more purpose driven and show up and be more consistent in your documentation of the journey versus just being caught in the noise and trying to pitch everybody who can come near you, and shout out loud from the rooftops. Because like I was guilty, like I've been there, done that too, and it's like that's you follow the masses, right? But starting to create your own brand and develop that, like what's that shift been like for you? And I suppose the question for it all around this is let's deep dive into the mindset and the why behind it all, right? Like, we show up, and if we can come from this space being attached to the result, it's very disheartening. But I can see you're going through your transformational shift now. Like you're showing up with more purpose, you're showing up with more intent. So, what is the driving force behind that, and what was the shift in that conversation to help you to go through that conversation?
That was a long one. I think the biggest thing that I've gotten from all this between the conversations and the tools is, one, everyone has their own journey, and being able to use questions and talking to people and not worrying about the end result, because something like this is not for everybody. And I understand that. And before I thought it was for everyone, but it's not.
There you go.
Even though, yeah. So that's one thing. And then with the questions, I found using tools like ChatGPT has been really helpful with identifying different aspects of a person's responses. So I've been able to have a conversation with someone, and then if I get stuck on where we can guide that conversation to, I've utilized that tool to help guide me to craft better connections with people, which has been really helpful in the long run of things. And you're not spinning your brains. If you feel like a conversation has kind of gone dead, you can use that to kind of pick it back up again and continue moving forward. And if you get to the great end result, awesome. If you don't and you find out that they're not ideal for working with each other, then that's okay too. But I mean,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, I've always wanted my friends and my family to be able to elevate themselves. Everyone's struggling in some aspect, whether it be financially, emotionally, physically. I mean, there's something that everyone can benefit from. And no one's perfect. I'm not perfect. Jeff's not perfect. But we can all do something to build ourselves up in some way. And I would love to help people find that thing and help build them up and just be better for themselves, better for their family, better for their friends.
Brilliant. So if you had the opportunity to go back in time and go back to see yourself, 5 years from now, what advice would you give yourself?
That's hard because, I mean, in this space, it'd be more about the branding and the take your time. Don't try to rush it. Don't try to rush through the trainings. When I signed up for a digital marketing course, I asked, okay, how quickly can I go through this thing? Watching a video a day or 2 videos a day to try to implement everything really quickly. So I'd say slow down on that side. But also, I mean, my journey at this point has led me to this now through the crypto scams and everything else. If I didn't do all that stuff, I would not be here at this point in my current state. I think I'd still be quite miserable, even though I didn't go through those crypto things, and just searching for something and just grasping at air.
Yeah. And I wanted to highlight that, right? Because we've got to go through our struggle, to get to the other side of that, so we can realize, have some empathy and have some understanding of what other people are going through their struggle.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all about the hero's journey, right? We're not the hero of the story, we're the hero makers. But we've got to be a guide. You can't be a guide unless you've been up the mountain a few times, or even gone down a few cliffs, right? You've got to understand what they look like to help people avoid those cliffs, and right steps to take on this. So this whole conversation comes around down to leadership.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say, you're definitely growing and maturing as a leader, and you very much remind me of myself, 10 years ago where I was at. What would you say to your journey of leadership, and how are you growing in that space?
The way I'm growing is I'm starting to identify where my strengths and weaknesses are. And then
Brilliant.
also in the people that I'm speaking with, I'm trying to kind of or assess like where they are and where I can help build them up, or where they can help me build me up. It's a win-win situation. Not everyone's a leader in all levels, and not everyone's weak in all levels. So everyone has some
Mm,
kind of aspects that they are building up, or they maybe just don't know it yet.
yeah. So with working with me and the rest of the community, because it's not just me, it's very much a community activity.
Mm-hmm.
And, you're very much involved in our inner circle conversations that we run on a Thursday morning. And we've been going through John Maxwell's 21 Laws of Leadership. That and the ChatGPT Unleashed program and all the mentoring that I've been giving you over the last 12 months. What results have you personally seen with helping you get clear and consistent? And how has your confidence, your engagement, your income shifted? Like, I know it hasn't been dramatic, but there has been some wins.
Mm-hmm.
What's different about now working with me 12 months later than it was when we first started?
My confidence level, and having more of a direct path of what I know I need to do. Obviously, there's always going to be ups and downs in your feelings, your emotions, and your progress. But the overall trajectory has been up and more consistent over the last
Mm,
12 months, and it's been really nice. It's been nice. People have been noticing. People have been reaching out to me more, and I feel more comfortable about talking about everything that I am doing.
yeah,
Before, it was more of, I'm too scared to post about this. I don't want people to judge me,
yeah,
but people will judge regardless of what you're doing.
yeah, yeah. They will, right? So let's embrace it, and let's grab some rhino skin. And this is the thing I wanted to address, because a lot of people don't get past this messy transformational work. And the reason most people get into this industry and give up and, essentially call this industry a bit of a scam and all that sort of thing is because they don't take ownership of what they need to take ownership of, or live a life above a life above the line, right? They're all in that blame, excuse, and denial. And one thing I've always seen about you, Zach, is you've always stepped up to the plate. You've always gone, look at it, okay, this is not happening to me, it's happening for me. How can I grow through this and step up? And this journey that you're on, it'll be the toughest transformation journey that you ever go on. From 0 to 10K is the hardest journey anybody ever goes on, I reckon, especially as an entrepreneur. Because we've got to figure some shit out. We've got to figure out how to be a communicator. We've got to figure out how to be a leader. We've got to figure out some marketing stuff and all of that side of things. And they're all new skills that you're learning. So what would you say right now, looking at the trajectory that you're on, what is the biggest skill that you've taken away with, working with me? And what is the area that you still need to work on?
I would say the biggest skill I've taken away is building up my personal brand and being able to massage that to more connect with the people I mesh with better. Sorry, what was the second part of the question?
What do you say is like one of those skills that you need to identify that you still need to work on?
When I'm speaking with somebody, sometimes I do still hesitate on actually asking the question of if they want to be interested or look at another opportunity. I found myself almost being too much of a nice guy, talking to them, getting their life story, and then when I get to a certain point, like it's almost too late to say, "Hey,
Yeah.
so want to check out this thing I'm doing now?"
You're put into the friend zone, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
It's that.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's what it is, right? And this is why I relate to metaphors and dating all the time, is because, this is what everybody else does, and we go through these transformations. So thank you for being like really transparent with me, and for our audience too, because I think this is very valuable for them to understand. Like, yeah, someone else is going through that journey, and it's okay to suck. Like, embrace the suck, because that's where you're going to get to the other side of it and become a master. The only difference between sucking and mastery is 10,000 hours of practice.
Yeah.
It's just getting in there and failing forward fast. So AI is not necessarily a replacement. It's not a crutch. How has ChatGPT changed the way that you think about content, messaging, automation? We very much say it's AI plus our heart equals our superpower. So, yeah, first question is how's ChatGPT and AI supported you on your journey and help you to change the way you think about content and messaging?
I've been able to discuss the things that I've done in my weekly basis and give it to ChatGPT to expand on those thoughts that I have, which has been really great. So if I just talk about taking my son out to the swimming pool and the emotions that came out, and I can make that a longer, more relatable story to people who are in the same situation. So I mean, and same thing with business. Any business struggles I have, I can talk to chat and come up with solutions to overcome those issues. So I mean, it's a kind of like a second brain that you can utilize and bounce ideas off of, and there's no judgment there. You can talk about
Yeah.
anything, and regardless of how ridiculous it may sound, like they're not going to judge. So,
Yeah, I actually think it's quite useful that it's got no emotional context sometimes, because it can just give you the raw truth if you ask it to. But
absolutely.
although it is biased, it will always aim to please you. You've got to make sure that you give it a nudge to say, hey, no, don't try and please me. Give me the raw truth. So that leads my next question is, have you got any favorite AI prompts or hacks that you now swear by?
I really love utilizing putting speeches together and utilizing the different voices of like Barack Obama or Simon Sinek or Richard Branson, whomever, whatever emotion I want to get to. So I can write a speech up and then put it and say, write this out as Barack Obama would say, and combined with these other people, and it will completely change the tonality of the entire thing. And it's been fantastic. It's been a really good way to evoke more emotion and really hit home runs out there.
I love it. I love it. I'll have to use that one. I remember using favorite speech of mine is Steve Jobs when he's talking to the Apple team, and this one's for the misfits, the troublemakers, the rule breakers, that type one.
Yeah.
And I've used that in content in the past, and it speaks right directly to the heart of those who want to challenge the status quo, and that creates some really awesome content. I love it. So, final question. If you had to give our audience one takeaway lesson, you had the opportunity, it's your turn to, teach the audience some lesson and give them one takeaway, one piece of advice, one thing that they could take and run and go and implement right away, what would that be?
I think one thing that you could do right now is thank the people who are following you. Thank the people who like your posts
Brilliant.
or comment. Send them a private message just thanking them without any context or trying to get anything out of them. But show your appreciation, and that's going to help build up your credibility and in the long run.
Yeah, attitude of gratitude. I love that, and the law of reciprocity, and we talk about a lot about the law of magnetism, right? And the like attracts like, and so this is all about having fun with it. It's about inspiring people and helping people to take action, and we're not here to make friends, but we can make some really awesome friends through this whole journey. And I've actually met Zak personally when I went to Thailand last year. And my son and Lachlan got to know Zak, and we had some really awesome burgers there in Phuket. It was one of the hottest days I've ever experienced in my life. Sweat just pouring off me, but it was an amazing experience to meet someone that I've been talking virtually and be able to shake his hand and meet him in person. So, Zak, I look forward to the next in-person meetup.
Absolutely.
Well, guys, Zak, it's been a pleasure, mate, going on this journey. We're just getting started. I'm on this journey for the long haul with you. It's been such a powerful reminder that clarity beats chaos. And when you combine faith, purpose, and the right tools, and you have the right support, the right community, that's where the magic happens. So, hey, if Zak's stories inspired you and you're ready to stop spinning your wheels and you're finally ready to step up and master the tools, grow your personal brand, build your tribe around you, and share your message with the world, then you need to come and have a chat. I'll drop the link in the show notes. I'll give you the opportunity to come book a discovery call with me, or you could just message and say the word unleashed for more info on how you could work with us. So that's all we have for today's episode. Make sure you stay caffeinated, stay legendary. And before we sign off, I asked Zak to come up with his dad joke for today's episode. So Zak, what is our dad joke for today?
Dad joke of the day is, why did the scarecrow win an award?
Because he was outstanding in his field.
Yes.
But
too easy.
I wouldn't be able to call myself the king of dad jokes if I didn't know the answer to that one. Well, thank you very much, legends. It's been an absolute pleasure. This is Jeff Ross and Zak Brown signing off for the Laptop Lifestyle Dad Show. Okay. We'll see you on the next one.